Coming up on First at 4, after a long fight to legalize medical marijuana in Kentucky, what comes next for those seeking treatment? Plus, tomorrow is the beginning of Child Abuse Awareness Month. Hear from one official about what they are doing to increase exposure coming up.
And strong to severe thunderstorms remain possible tonight with very gusty winds tomorrow. Tracking the very latest as First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Strong to severe storms are still possible later tonight, and expect a very windy start to the weekend. Meteorologist Evan Hatter has the latest on this First Alert Weather Day. Evan.
Yes, that's right, Steve. We continue to watch strong to severe weather already in progress out to our west. A tornado outbreak is underway across the Mississippi Valley, and eventually those storms will be moving into our area a little bit weaker. Our First Alert Weather Day continues out there, and we will continue to see a level 3 enhanced risk for severe weather in our far western counties tonight. East of that, a level 2 slight risk, and as you head east of that, it's a level 1 marginal risk there in the green. Now, the tornado threat is quite low. It's not zero, but it is quite low. Our main threat is going to be damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. Now, folks ask us a lot of times about tornadoes. Can I see a tornado? Everybody's got the possibility of seeing a tornado with the best chances to the west. However, damaging winds are going to be the bigger threat tonight, and they can do more damage than a tornado. So don't discount damaging winds tonight. And the flooding threat, I can't rule out some localized high water because we've seen quite a bit of rain in some spots today. In fact, you see that right along Highway 80 and the Howell Rogers Parkway corridor. One area of heavy rain pushing out, more continues to move in. And I want you to notice how we're already starting to see some clearing up in northern Kentucky and out in west Kentucky. So those storms out near Paducah are going to strengthen, and eventually they'll move in our direction. Look at the mess. Already, we've had a damaging tornado near Little Rock, Arkansas. We've got tornadoes now south of Chicagoland there in central Illinois. Particularly dangerous situation. PDS tornado watch is in place across the Mississippi Valley. That's where the level 5, the rare high risk, is in place south of Memphis and west of Chicago out toward the Quad Cities. So it is something we'll continue to watch tonight. Next 12 hours, those temperatures are going to hold steady, if not increase a little bit, as we continue to watch those storms move in. Steve, I'll track the very latest on when those storms move into your county in a few minutes.
Evan, thank you. For some advocates, it's been nearly 10 years since they started working towards legalizing medical cannabis. This morning, Governor Beshear signed Senate Bill 47, making medical marijuana use legal in the state starting in 2025. But what exactly does that mean for Kentuckians? Julia Sanders spoke to advocates who have been following the bill all session and shares the details you need to know.
Kentucky now joins more than 37 states to enact medical marijuana access. Not going into effect until 2025, there's still work to be done.
So they're not reinventing the wheel. There's no need for them to try. It's all out there. And so we'll figure out what works for us as a state.
There's still some blanks that need to be filled in. There's no specific fees for licenses and no specific regulations for dosages. These will need to be decided by a board through the Cabinet of Health and Family Services before it goes into effect. But for people like Eric Crawford, who have been advocating for medical cannabis for the last 10 years, the signing was a relief.
I know what we've been doing over the 10 years, and it's been hard. A lot of us argue and stuff all the time. It's worth it. It's not done yet, but it's a law, so that's a great thing.
Advocates would like to add more conditions to the list of 21 and provide people with better access. The steps to getting medical cannabis start with receiving a referral or prescription from your licensed doctor, then going to a dispensary.
As of today, it's raw flower material is still available because there's more than just, rolling it up and smoking it. You can vaporize it. It has a whole lot less carcinogens that way. You can also juice it. And so for a lot of patients, like juicing the whole plant cannabis is a big deal and can make a big difference.
Sponsors of the bill spoke highly about the work that's been put into this all session long.
If you're on the list of one of the qualifying conditions, cancer, epilepsy, MS, PTSD, and others, you will have a second option. You will not have to rely on opioids.
Julia Sandor, WKYT.
Governor Beshear says his executive order allowing people suffering from some conditions to obtain medical cannabis out of state will remain in place until the program starts in 2025. But he says his goal is to be ready by next January and pass another statute to speed up the process. We are hearing from a Somerset woman whose family escaped from 2 fires within weeks of each other. Caitlin Estes, her boyfriend, and her 2 children are now homeless. Their house caught on fire earlier this month and they lost everything. Estes says the first hotel they stayed at after the fire was too small for the family, so they were looking forward to what they thought would be a comfortable stay at the Best Western Hotel in Somerset. Well, after just a few days there, that hotel, as you might remember, went up in flames.
All of a sudden, we seen the 4th floor collapse into the 3rd, and the 3rd collapse into the 2nd.
We'll have more about this, including what comes next for her and her family tonight at 6. Gaddy's is going blue as its annual child abuse prevention program kicked off today in Pikeville. Mr. Gaddy's of Pikeville invited local child advocates and first responders for a day to celebrate the work that keeps kids safe and puts child abuse in the spotlight. From state advocates to workers from Judy's Place for Kids, organizers say the annual event is crucial for children and families, kicking off Child Abuse Prevention Month by showing the faces people can turn to.
And if we can make the area a safer place by bringing people aware of child abuse prevention and just let them know that it's okay to speak out. There's somebody there that's willing to listen.
The event is all about planting pinwheels and advancing advocacy. Hear more from those involved coming up at 6. And tomorrow again kicks off Child Abuse Awareness Month, something local awareness advocates plan to highlight as they see cases of abuse increase. The Kentucky River Children's Advocacy Center is having an awareness event at New Hope Church in Hazard. Executive Director Pamela Carey says they have conducted an alarming amount of interviews in March, so she is hoping the event will lead more people to reporting issues they see.
You need to know and to be able to educate, the community on what the signs are to look for and on the number to report to and how to, go about doing that.
That awareness event started at 4 but will continue until 7 o'clock tonight. We'll have more on how Carey and local leaders are raising awareness at 6. But next on First at 4 for a growing